When you think of The Legend of Zelda, what comes to mind? The Triforce? The music? Well, how about the dungeons? The dungeons, or palaces, or whatever, is the main recurring piece in the Zelda franchise. And in my top 10, I will tell you my favorite Zelda dungeons. Now keep in mind that these are my personal favorites, and there are not going to be any mini dungeons or final dungeons, so let's get started. Number 10. Jabu Jabu's Belly. In most games, the dungeons are usually element-oriented, like fire, water, earth, etc. But Jabu Jabu's Belly changes that, with the dungeon taking in place inside the belly of a whale thing. It's certainly one of the most creative dungeons out there, if not the most. However, the only thing keeping it down on the list is the fact you have to carry this the whole way. Ugh. Number 9. The City in the Sky. Now, we've seen a wind dungeon before in games like Wind Waker and Minish Cap, but nothing on this scale. Throughout your quest, this place hasn't been mentioned, but when you finally reach here via canon, it's breathtaking. There's interesting puzzles, cool items, creepy music, and awesome visuals. This place is just plain cool. Too bad it gets boring after a while. Number 8. The Tower of the Gods. This is a dungeon of dungeons in the Wind Waker. It's epic before you even step foot in the tower. With it raising from the ocean, you know you're in for a treat. Traversing the flooded floors with your ship, finding puzzles everywhere, this dungeon really makes you think, and reminds you how awesome Wind Waker is. Number 7. The Sword and Shield Maze. I just had to add a Game Boy Zelda game in here. There are many cool dungeons to pick from, but I had to go with the Sword and Shield Maze from the Oracle of Ages. 2 floors, one shaped like a sword, and the other a shield. But on top of that is that the sword floor is covered in lava, and the shield floor is drowned in ice. This created interesting puzzles involving freezing the lava and melting the ice. Who knew fire and ice could act as one, making this dungeon an epic fusion. Number 6. Turtle Rock. No, not the one from Link's Awakening, but the even more epic one from Link to the Past. This dungeon is one of the most iconic Zelda dungeons. Anyone can remember standing on top of the rock and casting a spell to open the jaws of death itself. Unlike the other dungeons, Turtle Rock was filled with bottomless pits that you had to traverse around via Cane of Samaria. Once you make it past the deadly traps, you must confront the iconic Trinex and save Zelda from Death Mountain. And that's not even the end of the game. Jeez. Number 5. The Forest Temple. This is a prime example of a dungeon. Dark atmosphere, challenging puzzles, tough enemies, it has it all. Even that spiraling hallway is awesome. The outside segments just adds to it. You even fight a Ganon clone at the end. Man, everyone loves this place. But this is my list, and I have to reserve the top spots for other dungeons. Number 4. Forsaken Fortress. This is probably one of the main attractions to the Wind Waker. You come here in the beginning with no sword, playing the stealth game like Metal Gear Solid. But eventually, you do come back here to save your sister from the Helmarok King. This dungeon is unique because of a large portion of it is outside, and the stealth aspects, like hiding from the searchlights. Like the Forest Temple, you battle a Phantom Ganon, but this time it resembles a fight with Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time. Now who doesn't like that? Number 3. The Eagle Labyrinth. The Eagle, or Level 1, this is the original dungeon. I had to put it on my list, because without it, there would be no Forsaken Fortress, no Turtle Rock, none of that. Just imagine when the original Zelda came out. I bet this place was mind-blowing. However, this was a blueprint to create even more remarkable dungeons as we move on to number 2. Number 2. Arbiter Grounds. We thought cool visuals and fun terrain could mix together. Well, Arbiter Grounds did just that. Compared to the Desert Palace Link to the Past and the Spirit Temple and Ocarina of Time, this place takes the cake, and the cake is no lie. This dungeon incorporates fun, challenging puzzles, plus an awesome item, the spinner, to add some fast-paced action to a slow, sinking sand area. On top of that, this place probably has one of the best bosses in any Zelda game. Now before we get to number 1, let's recap the top 10. Number 10, Jabu Jabu's Belly. Number 9, the City in the Sky. Number 8, the Tower of the Gods. Number 7, the Sword and Shield Maze. Number 6, Turtle Rock. Number 5, the Forest Temple. Number 4, Forsaken Fortress. Number 3, the Eagle Labyrinth or Level 1. Number 2, Arbiter Grounds. And number 1, the Stone Tower Temple. My god, is this a dungeon or what? Similar to how the Forest Temple is a prime example of dungeons, this place is a perfect example of how dungeons should be made. This tower has arguably some of the best music, bosses, atmosphere, and most of all, puzzles. Honestly, how many people first playing this game went, oh crap, when the temple did a 180 and flipped itself? Ask any hardcore fan. 9 out of 10 would say that this dungeon is sheer awesome and creative. And anyone who says this place is overrated, then sign me up to the overrated list, because Stone Tower Temple deserves no place other than number 1. I hope you all enjoyed my list. Comment, like, subscribe, and tell me what you think about your favorite Zelda dungeons.